everything going towards that G2 square. So now here's the finish. So it's just active pieces, and then this one requires in-game kind of analysis, which is not really for the focus of this part. It's not really that important, but it is important to know in games, especially these type of in games. So it's after b takes c6, rook takes, queen takes, rook takes, queen takes, bishop takes, check, 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 king takes. So now after this, queen e4 check, king f1, f3. So white can't play c7 because of rook, queen to e2 check, and then king g1 and queen to g2 mate. So you can't play c7 yet. So after f3, bishop to e3, queen to g6, searching the same thing but in the opposite direction. So queen to g2, queen to e2. And so queen to e1, queen here check, queen to d2, queen to b2 check, queen c2, queen takes e5, c7, queen takes h2 check, king b1, queen takes here, c6, e5, bishop takes a7, and so this c6 pawn looks menacing, but we also have 3 connected passes. So what move did white do to prevent this bishop to have a lot of squares? d4. Simple. Idea is, well, now this bishop can't go really back to g1 and defend all these 3 connected pass pawns. Maybe uses a shield for these pawns, these 4 pawns here should promote. So white tries to get more with into this. Actually, let's see here. After e5, d4, bishop d6, d3. So the idea is if he takes our bishop, we take on c2. So like take, check, and here, and now he can't stop this mate. And so okay, so here, okay, so take. Alright, so you can't take because of f2. And so after this, after d3 push, rook c1, and now queen takes, c7, queen takes c7, rook takes c7, and the final move, f2. The king can't go to e2 or e1 to block everything. And so now black wins. So, and I'll start with the position of opposite color bishops. So, anyways, alrighty. Let's see here. So I'm going to take questions on this position. Who wants any questions on this position or this setup? And you can ask any questions starting from this point. Any ideas what white did wrong? What did black did wrong? Why did we play f4 first move? Any questions? Feel free to ask questions, and then I'm going to set the next position here. So. Yep, it is in a book. It's How to Read Sister Chess. So I'm rereading this book by Jeremy Solomon. So props to him for teaching me chess. And so this is one of the books I've been using for quite a while. So I'm just rereading this book just to refresh my ideas. So, yep. It's basically, these videos are me going over it to teach myself a little bit. And, if you guys maybe try to get a different interpretation, So, for people who don't want to buy the book, but I recommend it's a good read, and I got about 200 pages left, so that's 200 more videos to make. No, kidding. But anyways, alright, so everybody good on this position, and how it finished? Let me go to the end. Okay, let's go to the end. Oh, I know why, because it starts with this tree. Okay. Maybe I'll do that, so we play h5. It's just different trees, so that's why this takes then h5, and then what did black do here? Oh, c3. Okay. Ah, okay, 5 is a move. There we go. So, h1. King 2. Alright, rook g5. Wait, I'm offline. I'm on a different line here. Let's see. Let me c2. Rook f5, king h1. There we go. Rook g5. There we go. And so here we're trying to play bishop here, and just we got everything on cheapo, also in-game conversion, so we're going to do that obviously. So you play bishop here, so you play bishop here, king here, king over. Wait, queen bishop here. Yeah. Take check, check, win this pawn, check, check. d4, critical move, block the bishop from retreating back. And so then g6, d3, pushing rook d takes c2 check. And yeah, this is when after bishop takes c7, tick, tick. So rook c1, tick, 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 and the finish f2. So so yeah, yep, f2 as the finish move. And white can't stop it. Rook c2 doesn't work. Rook f7 doesn't work. So just gotta know your end games. But the focus here was just mainly the opposite color bishops and how to evaluate which one bishop is better and how to implement the plan. So f4 was definitely a critical move there. All right, so no questions. I will set up the next position here. And this one is white to move, and I want you guys to evaluate the position first, the pros and cons of the position, and then go about finding what's the best move. So let's set it up. It's its turn. Okay, alright. So let's do this. And since it's white's turn, we'll flip the board. Alright, so what's the position? How's the position like? Alright, so here, white definitely has more advantage. I mean, look at the pawns on f4, g4, d4, and c4. Yes, good, good. Yes, Christopher, great job. Christopher Gurr on the chat says white has more space. And so, yeah, fundamentally, white has more space, and the mirrored tier count is even. Good. And so the difference is black has weakened his king side a little bit by playing the move h5 sometime. And so we want to utilize basically this king and this h5 weakness. And so like this is a typical problem in my position. I just never get to activate my bishop because I'm always scared of this move, but I think I'm going to try it a little bit more often if I get to activate a bishop. Um, so let's just look at bishops, right? The bishop on d3, white's bishop is on d3. Is that a good bishop or a bad bishop? Well, that's a good bishop. All right, the white bishop on b7. So this light square bishop on b7 here for black is technically bad because why? Well, all the pawns are on light squares, and really it's being blocked by some pawn. True, he could probably take here, but it's not there yet. All right, now let's look at the dark square bishops. White's bishop here is technically bad. It's being blocked by this pawn and this pawn. This bishop here, well, it's actually the better bishop because all the pieces are on light squares. The pawns are on light squares. The pieces are on dark squares, but they can easily make space for a light square. And so this bishop on d6 is good. All right. So right now it's white to move, as you guys see with this little square here. And the question is white to move and what to do, pretty much. And a little hint is the focus is this whole time we've been talking about bishops and the middle game. And so these are actual positions, actual games. And so all right, I think the chat's got it. Good job. So c5. And so the idea here is if he were to take, so like after b takes c5, doesn't white, okay, so let's see here. Well, like trying to open up the king side, yep, we're trying to open the king side, but the plan's slow, but we want to activate this bishop as quickly as possible. c5 was the correct move. We're not really going for a7, we're going for the king side here. I'll show you guys the reason. I'm going to try to answer everyone's question here. Doesn't white want to get his bishop, dark square bishop on c1? Well, the c1, it's attacking h6, but it's not on the long diagonal. The question is, I mean, yes, if you were to have a lot of time to maneuver it, you would go to c1 and then reposition it to maybe g5 or something. Right now, the white doesn't have the luxury of that time because of this threat of d takes c4. And that bishop on b7 just came alive. So with that similar idea, we're just doing the same thing, but on the other side. So c5, if he takes, then bishop takes, check. What we could do is now rook takes. After rook takes, what's the move here? g5. And this is just absolutely winning. Why? Well, we're planning on discovery. So if the knight moves away, say, knight h7, then we have something like knight c6 check, and we're going to win the queen. So g5, and if he doesn't, then let's say place this, then we take a check, which is, if he takes, then we have fork, family fork. Queen b6 is to prepare discovery, that's why I played it. And if he doesn't take, well, skewer. So, okay, maybe queen b6 is not the best move here. So, like, move the knight away, but still check. Really difficult position for him to play. Maybe just take here. Check. Maybe blocks, and we can always take check. So, yeah, this is pretty bad. So after here, after c5, basically what white could do is, if black doesn't take the pawn, after, let's say here, bishop c7, well, this blocks the light squares, or, excuse me, this blocks the rook on c8's control of the c file. I'm trying to look at the questions here. And so here, C7, simply